What's up, world, and welcome to our show, Cuzzo Convo. We're your hosts, Renaissance Ronnie
and Mo Lovely. We're here to have an open dialogue about all things Black reality TV, highlighting positivity and giving out real life accountability checks.
So grab your seat and whatever you need, because we're about to dig in.
Hey, what's going on, Cuzzos? It's another episode of Cuzzo Convo. I am your host, Mo Lovely.
And I'm Renaissance Ronnie.
Thank you for joining us for another recap of Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Obviously, reunion, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
So, child, there's a lot to talk about. The streets have been talking. The producer's been talking. There's a lot going on. So, starting with part 1. Obviously we like to try to highlight positivity. So I would have to say that, for the most part, I think that everybody looked very, very nice and dapper, beautiful. I think that everybody presented themselves pretty good, pretty well. If I would have to go with probably my favorite look overall, I would probably have to say Mel. I think that she looked really excellent. From the crown of her head to the soles of her feet down. She was given niceness all around, shimmery, shining bright. So that would probably be my favorite. I would say Male. Actually, I liked what Carlos had on. All the other guys just kind of seem to be plain. And Martell normally does dress up, but
I want to say Martell always looks nice. So
yeah. But I like what Carlos had on. So that's my. What about you?
Martell's probably my best dress because I didn't really like any of the women's dresses. For some reason, I feel like every reunion Tisha does like a ode to the 60s or something. And like she does like a whole Diana Ross look or something. And I just didn't like it. And I didn't like Kimmi's dress. I couldn't get the full. I mean, even though she came out and did her little twirl around and everything, but I couldn't really understand the concept fully of Kimmi's. And it's not that I didn't like Mel's, it just looked uncomfortable. Like it looked very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was giving me like Beyonce. And then so I'm gonna go with a man for the best dress, and I'll say Martell.
Got you.
And then, I mean, if Martell knows how to do anything, he knows how to wear a suit. So
yes, sometimes, some days he just be busting out. And
I'm about to say, yeah, sometimes they are too small.
I'll be like,
definitely true.
That's not for your build. We're not over here. You need to let them European cuts go because it's not meant for you. But anyway, cool beans. Well, so we have this first part, and we pretty much start off with I guess like the first thing that pretty much happened is that when not Maurice, what's his name? Carlos was kind of saying like, hey, I'm proud of you guys. I think that when you guys all come together, this is whatever, the success of this show, the success of what's going on behind the scenes, the show, beyond, whatever, like you guys are doing really well. You can come together, like saying his whole little shebang. And then, everybody was like, yeah, and clapping it up besides Mel. And he was like, oh, Mel, you didn't clap. First of all, like Carlos has I don't even want to call it a filter, but like some of his like impromptus or some of his what, like, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, sound like, sometimes they just sound like really scripted. Like, okay, I know that you're not going to clap because you've already let me know that, and then I'm just going to go right on it so that we can get this drama started, we can get this so we're not going to be dry wasting people's time, since it's going to be between a 3 to 4 part reunion, which it didn't need to be. But anyway, so uh
He doesn't segue properly. It's just like abrupt.
yes, it's just like, so let's just get into it. Well, you didn't clap, so why? uh so you know I will have to say, all the word on the street, and a lot of people, Mel pretty much said, hey, listen, last year I said aloud, I gave everybody their props about success or whatever, and she's just like, I'm just over it. I'm not doing it again. Now, my thing is, she is talking to the main head honcho. I don't think that you can hold any of the cast members responsible for them not whatever. I don't know what the cast has to do with the airing of you giving,
What they choose to show, yeah.
right. If anything, I know that Carlos did ask the question. He said, you're not clapping. So if anything, y'all, my ponytail just popped it up, child. Lord. All right. So anyway, hair change. But so I just feel like she should have just said, well, Carlos, the question that I have for you is, last year I gave props to everybody, and everybody on the stage can agree that I did X, Y, Z, da 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 da. It didn't air. That's a conversation that you and I would have to have, or maybe you would like to let the people know why didn't it air. Like, I just would have had that or whatever. So the thing is that, and I know a lot of people said, oh, she's being a bitter Betty, when she could have just simply just said, yep, proud of everybody, let's keep it moving. But I'm not sure if it was bitter Betty towards everybody, or it was bitter Betty towards Carlos specifically. And so I think that it was just her opportunity, which could have been edited out, because even there are people on the streets that are like, some of this parts of the reunion are not playing what we're seeing on certain parts online that's being revealed versus what we're seeing on the actual TV airing. So she could have said something to Carlos, and it made it seem like, again, she was being bitter or she had an issue with the cast. So we don't know if she held him responsible or not for whatever, but y'all can let us know in the comment section. Do you think that Mel was being bitter in that moment, when she decided to not say, yes, I agree, we all have success, we've all been winning, and so outside of our drama, yep, happy for everybody, let's move it on. So
I don't know, because it just didn't flow properly, because she said what she said, and then I think Maurice chimed in and was like, yeah, we're happy for everyone on the cast and their successes. And then she was like, well, you don't act like it. And so Kimmi was kind of like, what do you mean? Explain yourself. And Mel went on to talk about how in an interview, she felt like Maurice downplayed Kimmi and Mel's friendship, which didn't make sense to the conversation surrounding them congratulating each other and being happy for each other's success. It was like, that don't make sense, Mel. Like, what? I mean, even if he did downplay her friendship with Kimmi, that doesn't make sense in the context of them being happy for one another's success. I mean, he could still be happy for your success and congratulate you on the things you've done, and still downplay your friendship with Kimmi. I didn't understand, like, that whole exchange didn't make sense to me. And she's I really felt like, for whatever reason, she's just really not feeling Maurice, because I felt like every time he said anything, she kind of was like irritated. So I don't know.
Maurice Luther.
Huh?
Should I say with Maurice Luther King?
Yeah. Even that, it was like, that's shady. Like, what? I think even
Kimmi,
always giving speeches. Well, he is always giving speeches, but for her to be like, oh, okay, like, all right, Maurice Luther King, like, you always come with these Martin Luther King speeches. Like, she was very just like irritated with him. And I even think Kimmy was confused, like, what is going on? Like, what did he do to you? So I don't
Mhm.
know what that's all about. Me personally, with that whole conversation surrounding him supposedly downplaying their friendship, I think that Mel has in her mind, and I've seen, and I feel this way because uh, of her whole situation with Destiny. I
Mhm.
think Mel has her in her mind that if she um texts you and say how you doing, and you be like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm doing good, and then they were like, "Oh, okay," and they just move on with life or whatever. If they, we text from time to time to check on each other and see how you're doing, then that is maintenance in the friendship. Whereas apparently, boy, in Maurice's situation, he feels like that's not enough, and obviously in Destiny's situation, she felt like that wasn't enough either. Because I remember Destiny's argument was that they went from talking on the phone all the time or coming over to each other's house to just like a text of, "Yeah, I'm okay."
Mhm.
So I think in Mel's mind, she's thinking, "Oh yeah, no, everything's cool. We're still friends. I just text you the other day." And then in the other person's mind, they're like, "I feel like our friendship has changed drastically. Like we're not the same anymore." So it's a disconnect with Mel and her friendships. I think we've talked about this before. I'd like to know who is her people. Like who are your people? Like because obviously these aren't your people. These aren't your friends. Who are your friends? Does she have any like long term friends? Does she have a best friend? I'd like to know because she just seems like she doesn't.
Mhm. So there is a woman. Trying to figure out. I'm not sure because I would give this particular content creator their props. But there was an interview that I did listen to because I guess when Destiny confronted Mel about the whole, you stopped some business of mine or whatever,
Mm.
the her Mel's friend came on to her live and was like, skirt, we not about to do that. So I'm the friend she's talking about. I'm me and Mel have been friends for such and such long time, years or whatever. Like we real true friends. So she does. And she pretty much was like, I'm not gonna allow for this young woman to say that she stopped anything. She didn't stop any business. I'm going to tell you my side of the story. And pretty much was saying that, she kept hearing on the street about Destiny's business, uh, not necessarily practices, but just like things just weren't going right. And she said, I contacted Mel and said, well, from my understanding from the show, this is your friend, correct? And she's like, yes. And so she's like, so if this is your friend, can you vouch for your friend that if I were to go into business with her, that this won't happen to me, what other people on the street are telling me? And Mel said, I'm not going to personally vouch because, yes, you and I have a friendship. We also have done business together. So, therefore, she said, I don't feel comfortable telling you to go into business, I mean, to not go into business or to go into business with this individual. She said, I think that that is a call that you have to make. She said, I'm not going to what you call them. And Mel said, and then the friend said, she was like, Melanie literally, because she said, actually, she said that Mel actually ignored her. She was like, when she kept calling and asking, like, hey Mel, I need you to let me know like about Destiny. I need you to let me know what's her business practices. I need you to let me know because I keep hearing all these grumblings on the street, but you know her. And so she's like, she said, so I finally picked up the phone and talked to her and was just like, I don't want to be the one doing whatever. So she was like, so I'm going to have Melanie's back in this to say that that scene is absolutely false. She did not stop business. This was me personally saying, I don't want to do business because of what other people have said. It had nothing with Melanie. Melanie never said anything about doing business with her.
Oh,
So,
this is somebody who had done business with Mel before and Destiny wanted to do business with her.
so no, this is Mel's like really close friend. because you were saying like, is there like any
Oh,
plans to
yeah,
try?
but yeah, I get it. But it
Yeah.
wasn't adding up because she was asking her you said she was asking her, was she Destiny's friend? Like she didn't know her. Like, if she was Mel's friend and Destiny was supposed to be Mel's friend, like, it was almost like she didn't even know who Destiny was. It was kinda like, do you know okay, but I get what you're saying. She was, supposedly a good friend of Mel's or whatever.
Right. She was just saying that, like, hey, like her and I, like me and Mel have been friends for, I think she said like 16 years they've been friends. And she was like, we've been friends, and she was like, and we've gone through things. She was like, we've raised kids together, marriage, all that, she was like, so we really do like together. That's what her name is Dr. something. I forgot, but so
Mm.
so apparently she
Well,
does have friends, but
whomever not even just her or whoever, at this point, I'm starting to feel like because everybody's always saying everybody wants to make their storyline male all the time.
mhm.
Mel needs her own tribe on the show. It's like because my whole issue with that is like people say Tisha and Marsau or Destiny or whomever, they wouldn't have a storyline if it wasn't for Mel. And technically, from what they're showing, I'm not going to say Mel wouldn't have a storyline without. I'm not going to even say they wouldn't have a storyline without Mel, but it's a back and forth thing. So in this situation, both of their storyline is Mel and Mel's storyline is them. So everybody. I think Mel needs like an outside, like like I said, a tribe of her own, like her own people, because it just looks like you're constantly around these people that you say you don't like.
Right, which is
So
why I just agree that she just needs to leave the show personally. And I get it. That's probably not going to that's not going to probably
yeah, that's
happen.
not going to happen.
But I just feel like play your executive producer role behind the scenes, and yeah. But it seems like the people that they have tried to connect her to. So we have seen they're trying to be outside of the divorce of Marsau. There was like, okay, her and Tiffany, then whatever's going on with that and whatever. It's like an in and out thing. The only like deep thing that we saw between her and Tiff was her going to try to see if she could find her father when Mel went with her to whatever. Then we have enters Stormy.
Stormy, right.
And so I feel like they're trying, but it's not really
And see,
working.
that's what my thing is. It's like, who is her real like day ones? Like, who is her real people? Because obviously they bring these people on. First it was Destiny, and
Mm,
then it was like you said, then it was the Whitlows, and then Stormy, and then the people get on the show, and then they kind of have a falling out with Mel, and then you discover that they weren't really friends the whole time. She just kind of worked with them a couple of times. It gets weird. So I'm like, who are your
yeah,
people? Who are your
yeah.
real people? Not
I mean,
just bringing on the show
unless
fake people.
right, unless just people just saying like, no, I prefer not to. Like, I prefer to keep our friendship, and I'm just not willing to go on this show. I
Mm,
love you, but I'm not doing it.
mm,
And respectfully, it is what it is, which means, if that's what it's going to be, then then again, Mel has to make that decision.
right.
Is this a withdrawal moment for me, or is this a deposit moment for me? And so the deposit that's coming in, if it's only a financial gain for me, and it's not really doing anything, because truth be told, I'm going to just say for both part one and part two, to me, it definitely seemed like it was like gang up on Mel. Like, it was just like I feel like they're trying to do everything and anything to push her out.
Mm,
And I'm
I
like,
don't agree.
I'm like, there's something going on here. So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about, like, I'm just like, yeah, this is not adding to your life. Like, this is not adding to your life. I'm like, you literally have gone through public humiliation from the almost kind of like the very after season two, in a sense. Like, it's just been just public humiliation. So you going through whatever you're going through with your ex-husband or your husband, and then now ex-husband, then you're going through what you're going through with the Scotts. It's just like, yeah, you got to make it make sense. And I don't I hate to say this, but Carlos King, it does not, to me, does not have the best interests in any of them, truth be told. And even though people be like, oh, I feel like Carlos doesn't keep Mel accountable, I feel like Carlos is just letting Mel just do this and the third. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's that's not happening. I'm like, she might have a little bit of power, but she ain't got that much power. And I just feel like I said, it's a withdrawal. Like I just feel like she just really needs to just leave and say, you know what, my time has come and I need to go. Because there's nothing. I don't think if her real friends are saying, I'm good, I don't want to do this show, I don't want nothing to happen between you and I off some Hollywood stuff or whatever, then then you just need to go. You just need to go. Unless you're just going to show more of, because that's the other thing. This is the confusion part, because my thing is, I'm like, but Carlos, we can show some success for Mel. Like, even if you're not,
We
even
can
if
show
she's
some
not,
success for all of the cast members.
yeah, even if she's not going to have like any friends, it could literally be like, all right, y'all, so I'm working like when Stormy was introduced, it was introduced to briefly talk about her new skincare line, and we ain't heard about it since. We just haven't, like, so it's just like, that was cute, but what's going on with it? Like, unless you're following Mel online where you're like, oh no, she has this great skincare line, oh, I brought these products, or like, it's just like, okay, we're going to enter in a little bit of this positivity, and then, okay, now back to whatever. So I need you and Marcel to film this theme together, whatever. So it's just like, no, like, it's just time to just let it go. Like, and again, I personally, out of all of them, Mel doesn't need the show. She doesn't.
I don't
But
think
because
any of them need it except maybe Destiny.
Destiny definitely needs the show. She needs it. Okay. Child, she needs it. So yeah. So anyway, I digress. But yeah,
Um,
it's given. It's just given. It's just time to go, child.
Maybe it's time for the show as a whole to end. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of people agree, because they're like, yeah, we thought this was going to be something that just didn't turn out to be what it is, or what's going on. So, but yeah.
so the conversation kind of like steers toward, not kind of, it steers towards Tisha and Marsau. I guess well, I don't know what came first, the whole Credit One thing.
Oh,
Credit
it's
One
about the
drama.
sex party. I meant
Yeah.
the sex parties.
Sex
Yeah,
party.
that did come up first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't like Carlos's response to that. I didn't agree with that. Like, so okay, so what he asked Maurice was that I guess that, because I've never heard these rumors. I don't know if you have, but I've never heard about sex parties being thrown at Credit One. But again, like I've said before, I don't really too much dive into them after, when I'm not watching the show. I don't really like follow them on social media or anything, so I don't really know much about the rumors. But apparently there's some rumors that Credit One has been having sex parties. So Maurice basically says somebody's gonna find himself in a lawsuit if they keep spreading that rumor. And Kimmi went on to say that her office was either used to be or is over top of Credit One, and basically in defense of her husband, saying she ain't never heard no sex parties going on. Now the guys did get together and had parties or whatever at Credit One. Well, it must be used to be, because that was one of the reasons why Marsau decided to open up Black. Or Carlos's response was, guys are not getting together listening to Beyonce's Renaissance album. I just thought that was extreme. Like, what? First of all, it's every time guys do get together. Guys get together all the time. They do stuff like play cards. They may sometimes, it may be not a sex party, but maybe strippers will come, maybe not. But guys get, more often than not, guys get together to just hang out, drink, play cards, and do stuff like that. It doesn't always have to be some promiscuous behavior, some salacious behavior going on. And I don't like that. That's what Carlos was suggesting. That was weird to me. So
Yeah, I mean, I think more than Carlos's response. I don't know. I just like normally like respect Kimmy's response. I think that she just probably should have just stayed out of that one, and it definitely was giving like excuses to me instead of it being like again. I don't know. I just felt like she probably should have stayed out of
I mean,
it.
I just feel like if somebody was saying that my husband was having sex parties at um his place of business, it's one thing for me to be like, well, he be there late and I don't be there, so I can't say yes or no. I can only have faith in my husband that he's not doing it. But it's another thing for me to know that my office is there too, and I obviously maybe I'm in the office as well, and it's either that you're suggesting that he's just so disrespectful to me that I'm upstairs in my office and he's having sex parties downstairs, or that I would speak up too. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, but I don't. But that's the thing is that I don't think that Kimmi has been there to know what's been going on after hours, and I think that's what people had an issue with is that. But you weren't there, Kimmi, so you can't confirm what they
Well,
were doing at the office.
why would she even speak to the fact that she had an office above their office if she wasn't suggesting that she's there? That's what
That
I'm
don't
trying to.
mean nothing. I don't. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like that really like means that she was like there and there. And that's the thing is like, even if she was there, some of the time she might have been like, oh, yeah, I used to hear the fellas or whatever like that. Da 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 da. But like again, not she. I'm pretty sure that every time they did gather until Black opened up, she wasn't there all the time. So again,
And I agree, she probably wasn't there every night, but I mean, nowadays anybody can say anything, and then people are just gonna be like, "Yeah, I heard that too," and then everybody's just gonna go along with it. And then, as a wife or as a friend, if you defend it or if you disagree, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, you just blind, or you just naive to the fact that you wasn't there every night, so you don't know when the day you was only working on Tuesday. So what happened on Thursday and Friday when they were there? They probably were having sex parties, and it's like, what? It's just
yeah.
I don't know."
Like I said, I think that, but that's the thing. I think that you have to use wisdom in these things. And so, my thing is, if I know that I'm not there, like if I know that I'm there from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and I know for a fact after 5 p.m., around 7 p.m. to when my husband's coming home at 1 a.m., I can't tell you what happens. Well, like, and I've been there maybe a couple times working after hours, and yeah, they're smoking, they're drinking, they're playing cards or whatever like that. But again, I can't speak to it. So I just think that it should have just been like, I don't know. I can't tell you all of what has gone down. These are the
Mm.
guys. This is what they do. They like going. They like the strippers. They like the da 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 da. I can't tell you all of whatever. Because my thing is this, and you and I will probably disagree on this. My thing is this.
Mhm.
When you begin, and especially as a married man, to me, when you begin to explore, and if you are inviting, because there allegedly has been, and I think this is why a lot of people did comment and say, now Kimmi, yes, so the rumors have been for a very long time that it was an apartment that they even talked about LeBaric, and then there's been like some accusations surrounding him with the Scott brothers and all of it, whatever. So the thing is I think that people really were like commenting towards Kimmi in the sense of saying, sis, but there's been so much out there, even so much too that there was a case of, one of the guys that y'all called the whatever Scott 3.0, whatever he is, LeBaric. No, not LeBaric. Is it LeBaric? No,
No,
who's
not LeBaric is not part of
Lutherberg
Scott's
shot?
Suite.
No,
You're talking about Rod
basically, yeah, I'm sorry.
Roderick. What's his name? His name begins with the R, I think.
Yeah, the other guy, the light skinned guy, not
Yeah,
Destiny's ex-husband, the light skinned guy that had a couple of whatever. Anyway, I just like I said, I just feel like
Roderick.
something like that.
But go ahead.
But I just feel like probably just Kimmi just should have said, even if she would have just been like, listen, what goes on after whatever, I can't confirm that there's been no sex parties. I just know what I can't confirm. When I've been there, these are the things that I witnessed. This, and this, and then let it go. But I don't think that when you know that your spouse and people are into the strippers and hearting booty images, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like these things I think that women should not ever think for a minute that these things can't ever progress into something else. Especially if you're saying, "Oh, I liked Candyland. We can get her to come back and service us." And then next thing you know, you whispering sweet nothings. And even if it's just one of your friends, even if it's not even necessarily you participating in it, because nobody didn't say, "Oh, I heard that there were sex parties and that you, Marsau, or you, Maurice." No one didn't say that, but we don't know what's going on in the back office with whoever. So that's all I'm saying is that, when you're not there all the time and you know that your men are into these can be very this, sex industry type of entertainment, don't think for a minute that somebody cannot necessarily be getting intertwined. And this is because I know my wife, whatever, so I'm coming to y'all office. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily, I don't feel like if she feels strong about her spouse not doing it, then yeah, cool. But I'm not speaking fully towards that. You're not about to make me look like no dummy. Look, this is what I know. I ain't there all the time, so that's where I'm gonna stop. I don't think that's what's going on. I don't think that's what's happening, at least with my spouse. I can't speak for nobody else. And leave it at that. And that's what I think. I think that people just felt like it was a very naive, you don't think for a moment that rather, again, if it was Maurice or whoever, it's been out there that there's been apartment buildings that y'all have had these parties. And then there's been, or not y'all, but the Scotts brothers have had this along with, whatever the other people. And it's like, come on, at some point, it's just like, something going on.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
we
have
can
to
agree.
agree to disagree. Yeah, because I'm from me. I personally will go to the strip club with my husband, so we don't
But
I don't mind.
see, that's something totally different, because you said that
Well, I mean, he goes by himself too, but I mean not by himself, but with the fellas too.
Mhm.
And I have been or whatever too, so it's not something that I just think that
Right. But again, all I'm saying is that we can't think for a moment that, especially because we're not talking about oh yeah, I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go see. I'm just going to the strip club, and even if you're seeing whatever, I'm gonna go see Snow Bunny tonight or whatever. But I'm saying, as men of their calibers, knowing that Huntsville is also small as
right.
well,
Mhm.
all I'm saying is that don't think for a minute that these same women probably are not coming through, and somebody ain't saying or could have said or could have implied, and then next thing you know, oh yeah, child, I was one of the girls that was there and they was banging whatever. All it takes is for one person to be like, I was there and I know that somebody was having sex in the back of the office or whatever. And then I went there a fourth time, and I just was continuously witnessing that somebody was back there. I can't tell you who or whatever. So like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be Marsau or Maurice, but whoever you're attaching yourself to, you just never know. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to hang out with the fellas, and then y'all yeah, all right, we got the strippers, and now we over here, the strippers are stripping off the clothes, and now we got, oh, I got some titties in my face, and
And that was another thing. It was like, what I wanted to know, and I still need to look up what the allegations were. But I'm just like, what is sex parties anyway? Are they just picking rooms in the office, or just laying people across the tables and just actually having sex with them, or is this um a, a, a oral type thing, or is it just like stripper parties and they're calling it like sex parties?
Sex
Like I'm
parties.
just right. But
Man.
whatever. We agree. I don't, them ain't my husband. So
Okay. Yes. So yeah, so that whole situation. But y'all can let us know in the comment section, what do y'all think has
right.
happened? Has there been some actual sexual intercourse going on, or with the Scotts brothers allegedly, or somebody else? Y'all can let us know. But anyway, moving on. So we now go from to we got what, Kiki, that not
Mm.
Kiki. Well,
Well,
yes,
we
it
have.
is.
Well, it kind of started first with the whole allegation that I'm assuming it was Mel's. Was it Mel's old hairdresser that they're saying it was? That somebody who Mel either used to be friends with or and is now, or was Mel's hairdresser or something along those lines,
Yeah.
said that she used to sleep with Marsau apparently, or cheated with Marsau back in the day. And so
Mm-hmm.
Mel was going to bring this girl on a girls trip or bring this girl somewhere, and she was going to basically confront Tisha and tell Tisha that she had at one time was messing with Marsau.
Right.
And so that led into the whole is Marsau a cheater or is he not a cheater? Um, Tisha basically said, unless you come with the receipts and God tells her that he's cheating, she's not leaving her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Which then kind of rose into Kiki, who I felt like Kiki was not of substance. And the reason why, because Kiki kind of backpedaled with every question to me. Every time she answered, she kind of backpedaled. But anyway, Tisha pretended like she was so pissed that Kiki was coming out there to talk about how Marsau cheated. So she went backstage like she was pissed, but then she came back out with these puppets, these hand
Mm-hmm.
puppets. One was supposed to be Mel and the other was supposed to be Kiki.
Yeah.
I'll just say that the joke kind of fell flat and the puppets were hideous. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
she would have been
Yeah.
better off just going backstage and pretending like it just hurt her feelings so bad and cried instead of coming back out with those puppets, because it just, I mean, everybody kind of giggled or whatever, but it kind of fell flat. It just felt like one of those moments like on Real Housewives of Atlanta when they do their reunions where Kenya may have a fan that she keeps flicking every 5 seconds, or she had, I think one time she had something she kept pointing in Portia's face, and then her and Portia ended up fighting. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes somebody might bring a sign that says, or people bring their, I think one time Monique bought a whole notebook of receipts on Giselle. So
Right.
it kind of felt like one of those gimmicky type things that they do at reunions, but it fell flat for me.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I definitely thought I made a comment on somebody's page. I said this was distasteful and it wasn't funny to me at all. Like I was sitting there just disgusted. I think that we have to be very
Disgusted.
careful
Not
because it came
disgusted.
off to me also very coonerish. The puppets, even the way that the puppets looked, big eyes, big nose, big lips. I I don't know who created them for her or whatnot, but I don't know, it triggered me. It just triggered me in a way of just like when it comes to like black history and just kind of um just really seeing like black women do this to each other. Like I don't care what the issue is, what I don't feel like we should ever go that low where we're bringing out puppets, because we have to understand that yeah, we can have words for each other, we can shade each other, we can do all those sorts of things, but understand that there's always going to be somebody that does not look like us, and that looks at what we do to each other, and then they see what we do to each other, they think that it's fine to do it. And so I think that it goes beyond the beef when it comes to this particular thing, and that's why it fell for me, because it just brought up like girl, like, you know what you're doing, like, do you understand like this whole situation? So it was distasteful, it was immature. It wasn't funny at all. And I just was like, okay, we can move on from this. Because even Carlos being like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be professional, but I'm like losing it. And him being like, because you could tell he was uncomfortable about it. And then he was like, ah. And then he's like, okay, y'all are laughing. So I guess I'm going to laugh too. Like, you can definitely tell, like, he's like, this is not really what I know. So, and I just feel like somebody should have checked in and been like, no, we're not going to do that. And that's not what we're going to do. So, so that's that. But yeah, moving on. Sorry, Tisha. That was I mean, I don't really agree with you in anything anyway, but this was just, to me, out of all the things that probably has come out of your mouth, all things that you've done, I think that was the very lowest thing that you could have ever done. So hopefully you do better, you learn from it, and that won't happen again, because that was nasty. So, but yeah.
So there was just questions to Kiki about whether Tisha ever confided in her. Well, first it was whether Tisha ever confided in her that Marsau had cheated. Kiki said no, but she did say it basically was implied that they were having trouble in their marriage, and it had something to do with another lady. We later find out that supposedly some woman, I guess, applied for a job with Marsau and apparently sent a naked picture,
Booty shot.
booty shot. And this was via text, not like Instagram, right?
Correct.
And he replied back with a thumbs up, I guess, and
a heart,
a heart or thumbs up or something, and it said a midday surprise. Is that what he said? Me personally, we're probably not going to agree on this because, well, I don't know. I just feel like, well, that happened, and that's not grounds for Tisha to file for divorce in my eyes. That's number one. Number two, I think there is something to be said about cheating versus being inappropriate. Me personally, I feel like that falls under being inappropriate. I don't consider that cheating. And I don't, like I said, I personally, if that happened to me, I wouldn't file for divorce. So, what are your thoughts?
For me, I mean, probably this is probably again one time I would agree with Wanda, because Wanda was on the stage when she was like, listen, you look at a girl. The thing is that this is to me.
You look at yes, Wanda said you look at a girl that's cheating. Mo, come on now, that's crazy.
So this is what I would say. I think for me, if my husband were to receive, rather it was a girl's bottom or it was a message or whatever. Like, one thing that, like, my husband and I, we, like, if somebody writes him or whatever, like, we share those things with one another to let, like, just for there to be true transparency, to be like, hey, this is whatever, or hey, this person has reached out to me or whatever. That's how we handle business, because he's a photographer. So, like, it's just to safeguard our marriage, business, all of that stuff. So my thing is this. Personally, yes, I hear about the inappropriateness, but just like I go back to even the whole thing with the sex parties, when you open yourself up to, like, the inappropriateness, it can lead to anything. And the thing that he did wrong was, to me, is that he took pleasure in it by liking it and then also commenting. So the thing is that it just kept going. And who if Tisha didn't find out about this, then who knows what would have happened.
And that's true. It could have no, that's true. It could have led into cheating. But my whole thing is, supposedly it didn't go any further than that. And so that's why I'm saying, me personally, there's a line between inappropriateness, and inappropriateness more than likely leads to cheating, but he hadn't, from what they're saying, hadn't got there yet. So
because his wife caught him.
because he was caught, that's true. So,
Right. So that's what I'm
but the
saying.
thing
Like,
about it is he was caught, and so, and he supposedly ended it. I'm just
yeah,
saying I wouldn't necessarily end my marriage because of it.
yeah. I'm not
Whether it was
saying
because I caught him or whatever the case may be, I just
right. Yeah, I don't. And the thing is I don't think that people are saying like, Tisha, you needed to end your marriage based off of this. But what I think people are trying to understand, because Tisha is still kind of living in this, like, I don't know, this cloud that just doesn't seem to, where it's like, hey, like you, because even the thing where they did start to admit, okay, yes, this happened, and she was like, this happened 14 years ago. He was like, this was not 14 years ago. And I told Tony, I said, yeah, you couldn't heart a message at 14 years ago. Like, that hearting stuff just came out about on whatever. You could maybe send a heart, but you definitely couldn't press and heart the image, because she said hearted the image. So my thing is, so rather she said whatever, it was vice, whatever, it doesn't matter. Again, it was inappropriate for that married man. And even when Maurice was like, oh, for a booty picture, and I'm like, yeah, y'all definitely have, y'all, again, everybody's marriage is very different. And so I personally, like, if my husband receives something from a client, because again, he obviously takes pictures of women, um and even we've had this discussion about, like, my husband was like, what are your thoughts about boudoir? And so y'all know what boudoir is, where women, pretty much like,
lingerie.
whether it's like lingerie or whatever, there's different, definitely, like, scales of boudoir. And so I told my husband, he said, if I ever did a boudoir shoot, I would want you there. He said, for protection, in the sense of making sure that obviously this client knows that you're there. He was like, I have an issue with one, commenting on women's bodies. I have an issue with touching women. Like, and he said, again, in the protection of us in our marriage, he was like, if I was a single man, it might be a little bit different. But because I'm not, in the protection of us, like, this is whatever. So then he's like, so that's why I just stay away from it, because I feel like it's just too much. And I said, that's fine. But if you did, I think that you could, there's still boudoir, because I've even had friends that have done boudoir, and they showed me their shots, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So my thing is that I think that there's a way that you can still do tastefully, even boudoir, and again, you remaining professional, whatever. So I digress. So I say all that to say that, that if my husband had a female client, which he has had, he has majority females than he does males. So if that was a case of a female sending him, a picture or whatever, again, my husband's gonna come straight to me and be like, and then I'm most likely going to jump in and be like, hello, this is the wife. Um and let this know, like, we about to shut this down right now, because you're not going to, whatever. So it just doesn't seem like these men have, I don't know, like, I just don't think that, like, the Scott brothers just don't seem to have, like, a respect. Like, and again, I just might be just old school and modest and whatever, but, like, I just don't think that there are, like, boundaries in their marriage where, like, again, Maurice being like, oh, just for a booty shot. It's just like, yeah, for a booty shot. I mean, like, yeah, Kimmy should know. Because even him talking about, well, the DMs was lit up real, real good. That, like, whatever. He said something about his DMs being not Maurice, but Marsau, and being like, huh, you can only imagine what I get now. And I'm just like, yeah, but, like, why is that something to gloat over? Why isn't it something, why can't you be the black man to be like, I can't control what goes down in my DM, but my DMs are lit up. But let me look at the camera right now. This my wife. I ain't leaving my wife. My wife not leaving me. Y'all can send all the whatever. Just know that she sees everything that's sent to, like, I don't get that from them. I get that, like, this feels good. I love this. I love seeing all the booty shots. I love
And
seeing
and they probably do. And but the
no.
thing about it is, Mo, I think it's like you said, everybody's marriage is different. So maybe it's acceptable. Like
And that's
maybe
and
they're
that's
okay
why
with
at
it.
this point everybody is like, let's just leave this whole Tisha and Marsau thing alone, because if she is accepting of all of what that is, then hey,
Right.
it is.
That's why I
I
don't think people should
I
call her
would
naive or stupid or anything like that because
I
she's
that but
allowed
that's
to accept whatever she wants to accept.
Yes, but that's the thing. I think people just want everybody for Tisha to just say, listen, y'all, this has been something in the past. This is something in the present. My husband looks at this. My husband does this. My husband does this. And guess what? I ain't leaving him. We good. We would. I think that's what people, instead of Tisha always seemingly being like, well, why do you think that if my husband was cheating on me, like that I would stay, or that I wouldn't confront, or I wouldn't? And it's like, yeah, but this whole time, Tisha, y'all have your cousin had to come on TV to say that even just with the this booty shot, like that you saying, oh, I had forgot it was so long ago I forgot about it. I'm sorry. Personally, I don't think that no woman's forgetting about a man who interviews somebody at that. So this is for a business, and then all of a sudden they get a booty shot, and then you find out that he not only likes the photo, but that he then sends a text message back. No woman's forgetting that. I don't care if it's 18, 25 years ago. No woman is forgetting that. And so my thing is that's the problem that we have with Tisha, or for those of us that have a problem.
I
We
was
just
gonna say
have a
I don't have
problem
a
because
problem.
there's always this dumbing down, like, oh, and instead of it just being straight up. Yeah, there's been some stuff, some speculation. Yeah, there's been some stuff that I've seen that my husband, whatever, and I do not like it and I don't condone it. Have we been trying to get help for it, or have we been whatever? Like it would be just more well respected if she just came out front and said, yes, there's been stuff. Yes, I don't like it. Yes, with it. And then it'd be like, okay, let's let it go, because she's choosing to stay. Not, I don't, but I never, that was never something in my marriage that I really had to deal with.
She
But I'm
said
like,
infidelity wasn't something in her marriage. Like I said, maybe that to her obviously is not infidelity. And I just think that people just, and especially at this point, it's just basically Mel side and then Tisha side. So whatever, no matter what Tisha does, people are just going to not like it because technically in the since Mel did the same thing when it came to Martell's cheating. It wasn't until it came out he had another baby or whatever the case may be that we learned everything. But she never said, Mel never sat down and went back and told the old stories about how she knew Martell was cheating the whole time, and then she caught him on
um,
the phone or blah 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 until it all came out.
well, I'm not really sure about that. There
Come on,
was a
Mel, you a
scene.
millimeter.
No. There was a show.
Yes,
There was a show that, no, I'm not, but there was a
you are.
show that she definitely was like, yes, I did know about my husband cheating. We have been dealing with this. Like definitely like had like a whole timeline or whatever, and she
Once
said,
the baby allegations came out, that's what I'm saying. So it's like that had to come out for her to admit that the things were happening in the past. That's what I'm saying. And
mm-hmm.
so in the case of Tisha, it's like, okay, when Kiki brings it to the forefront, and it's like, okay, now we getting the truth, or now you want to say that, yeah, you do remember that this happened or whatever. But before you just was acting like your marriage was this and nothing never happened. And it's like, I just feel like we don't extend the same grace to Tisha that we did to Mel. Instead, Tisha is always just naive and stupid and whatever. Because, like I said, it's just at this point, it's like Mel versus whatever Mel does versus whatever Tisha does, and there's always some type of like competition. And we don't extend Tisha the same grace. I'm not saying that I agree with Marsau's behavior or what he did or anything, or even how Tisha handled it. I'm just saying that I don't think that the people extend Tisha the same grace that they extend Mel. And it's because, and actually I was thinking about this earlier, I don't think I've ever seen this before, I think Mel is probably the only, especially in the Black community, reality star that has such a like not even just a large following, but just like like a dedicated following. Like, you know, like Nicki Minaj has her Barbs, or Beyonce has her Beehive, and whomever. Mel has that, and it's stronger than any other reality TV star I've ever seen. Like, I don't know, at least I couldn't think of any other from the Black community, at least. Not even really from the white community, for real. Like, across reality TV, I can't think of any other reality star that has such a strong, hive-ish following as Mel. And they just really, it's like Mel can do no wrong in these people's eyes. And
Yeah.
so Tisha can never, she could never win. It's not that it's anything to win or that it's a competition, but it's just, like I said, Tisha's never extended any grace because Mel has such a strong following, and they go hard for Mel.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would have to
Of course
look
you're not
back.
gonna agree.
I would have to, no,
Because
seriously.
you're a Melamita. Say it.
I'm not. I would just have to look back at some episodes, because I think that there is, I don't know, like, I feel like there is a I don't know, there's just a difference between like how Mel rolled and how Tisha rolled. And again,
It is.
I just feel like, okay, like we were able to get like Mel to be like, hey, this is what it was. Look, I was dumb for taking them back. I was, and I just, I don't know. Like, I just feel like Tisha just lives on this whole nother cloud that, like, it just doesn't make like any like sense at all to me. So that's the thing. Like, I just, and I and again, where Mel was and Martell were like, y'all do realize that like we've been in this whole group for a minute, so we know each other's business. Are y'all? And that's the thing. Like, I think that's why it became this whole Mel versus Tisha, because it's like, y'all know each other's business. Like, all y'all know, all the fellas know what Martell did. And me and child, Martell's facial expressions throughout everything be like his facial expressions tell on everybody. So my thing is, it's like, Martell can say all he wants to about, when he said 28 women, 20 women, whatever. Look, Martell ain't get that number. It might not have been 20, like I think Miss Wanda said. Even if it's just one, it's still a problem. But my thing is like, it's just the sarcasm from Homeboy, who was like, my sarcasm is going to just make y'all just, think not know the truth when we do. And then you got Tisha that's just like, oh, and I'm glad that Carlos, thinks that she's a very intelligent woman. I do not, the thing, because I'm sorry, folks, I don't agree to this. I don't care how many darn degrees you have. That does not make you an intelligent being. I'm sorry. So can we stop that whole like, oh, you have 3 masters. What does that mean? Let me tell you something. I've worked with people that have had masters working on PhDs and will still ask me, who just has a regular darn degree, how do you get through simple computer applications? Okay. So that means absolutely nothing. And I always question, well, how did you get your degree, honey? Because didn't you have to do papers? Didn't you have to do this? Aren't you working on a dissertation? So how are you at this level of education? Please, can we stop doing that? That means nothing. This is what we should be saying is, where's the common sense? Because that's what people lack. People lack common sense. It's not that people are out here like being able to master education. That's a system that again, when you give somebody something, they might be able to be like, okay, great, and I'm able to do this, but that has nothing to do with you being an intelligent being, a woke being, a whole being. And so can we not do that? I think that was so silly. Like that, like you are a smart woman. I don't know about that, but okay. Sorry. I just disagree to that. And it's not a dig at Tisha. I disagree to that to anybody. Don't ever throw degrees into people's faces to say, well, I have 5 degrees. What does that mean to me? You can still act like you don't have no common sense. You can still decide to have earbuds on in public running and you have 5 degrees. And that makes no sense to me because I'm like, what if something happens? Can you hear a car screeching that's about to hit you? Can you hear a dog that's behind you? Like, I'm sorry. I live by common sense and common sense alone. All that other stuff can be taught and you can get degrees forever, but that don't mean nothing. That don't mean that you're smart. So anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
But yes, for me, I just want for is I just want for Tisha to just, just be like, okay, because even going into this whole thing about like Tisha saying like, yep, this was wrong, this was whatever, and I'm just saying that yes, I knew about this. I'm gonna admit that I knew about it, whatever. Because even when they were and daggone Marsau, okay, going into this part 2 reunion, had a nerve to talk about Melanie not taking accountability when that first part of part 2, you weren't taking no accountability for anything. Your wife and cousin-in-law, whatever, had to be like, and you hearted the image, and you also said this. I didn't say that. And your own wife had to go, you did say that. Oh, okay, I did say that. Marsau. And this is what I'm talking about. And I'm grateful that Tisha did not back down and be like, no, he didn't say that. Like, I'm grateful that it was, because I'm sitting here like, y'all can talk about Kiki all you want to, but she's kind of laying it all out. So it's like, okay, so who we gonna believe here? Like, it's, yeah. So my thing is that, no, you're calling the kettle black, sir. You shouldn't even, you were not going to admit until your wife actually said, no, you did you did say this to her. You wasn't going to admit it. You were just going to run with it. Like, no, I didn't say those things. I didn't say that. Come on. It's like, y'all are, it's too much. It's just like, it's too much. So anyway, but yeah, but I wouldn't be calling nobody out about when do you ever take accountability, Mel, because when does Marsau ever take accountability? That's why you like her. Oops. Anyway, so anyway, so yes, so this whole part 2 thing of where, Kiki does, say, hey, listen, y'all, we about to just end this. Again, I agree. I still will say this. They were wrong. The Scotts was wrong. They should not have done that to Kiki. If that is your cousin, I don't care what you said. I cannot imagine me saying anything about my cousin to anybody that is just a friend and going, oh, because like she said, you guys know I did not go into anybody's home and steal medications. You don't have any record of me doing that. That's not what I did. So again, my question to you would be, why would you have shared that information? I don't agree. They should not have done that. So I don't care what, how they try to spin it. Oh, it was not a dig. It wasn't a this. It wasn't a that. No, that was completely wrong. It was completely wrong. And I do feel really bad because the thing is that what people don't understand is that you could be sober for many, many, many years. And all it takes is for one trigger to turn you back. And that's the issue that I have, is that you didn't even regard your cousin enough. Forget your husband, because that ain't his real family. I expect that behavior from him.
He was the one. Apparently, Tisha wasn't the one who said it. Marsau was the one who said it.
Right, exactly. But that's the thing, is that, and she should have been like, honey, I don't know. I can't say what their conversation was, so I'm not even gonna go there. But what I'm saying is that even when this whole situation went down or whatever, and she was like, oh, well, I thought we hashed it out or whatever. My thing is that, like, again, I just hope that they really learn. And again, do we see Marsau apologize to Kiki? Talking about accountability. No, we did not see that.
He didn't think he was wrong. And I don't agree. I don't think that well, okay, I'm not gonna say whether or not I think they were wrong or right. I would say that me personally, I wouldn't do that to my cousin, especially not a cousin that I say is as close to me as a sister. I just wouldn't, I would never do that. But I'm not saying that, I'm also not saying that I don't see or understand why they said it, but, and I really hate saying this because I know at this point people think that I hate Mel, which I do not hate Mel. I actually really like Mel. I think that Mel weaponized it. What they shared with her and Martell, which Martell said he didn't remember, but I think Mel weaponized it to Kiki against Tisha, and I don't think that was right either. And that
Mhm.
could have been triggered. I mean, because technically,
Oh yeah.
if she never said anything, technically Kiki would never know that it was even said. So I
Mhm.
think, not saying that, not disregarding what the Scots did, because what they did was wrong. They should never tell their cousins, their family members, or even if it was a friend, actually a
Right.
close friend, they shouldn't have told that their business, especially to that degree and that seriousness.
Mhm.
Um, but like I said, I think that Mel in turn weaponized it against Tisha. So it was, to me, me personally, I think Kiki not only should hold. I mean, I think Kiki looked at it as, oh, Mel was doing me a favor. She was letting me know that they was talking about me behind my back.
Mhm.
But I don't think Mel had good intentions in telling her that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it could have been that, or it could have been them having a conversation and them being like, so what's really going, like, in a sense, kind of having like a heart to heart and being like, so what's really going on? And just being like, well, I just don't, what you call them, with your cousin because XYZ, da 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 da. And then her being like, well, that's interesting because I don't, that's not something that I see in T-shirt or whatever. And then her saying like, well, you might not see your cousin as this way, but there's some things even I know about you that, and she being like, well, wait, what do you know about me? And then that coming out. So, because again, like we like, it's been revealed that like, oh yeah, we've been like sisters and stuff like that, but child, they say they cordial now, so they're like, we cordial. I was like, yeah. She was like, which is fine, whatever. Somebody on the internet streets was like, anybody picking up why Kiki looks more like Wanda more than Tisha? I
She
said,
does look just like Miss Wanda.
I was like, they was like, they said they're like sisters, or are they sisters? Miss Wanda, speak.
I need to see Miss Wanda's brother. Maybe they just, her and Miss Wanda and her brother looks exactly
Look
alike
alike.
or whatever. But
Possibly.
it's the Kiki, either Kiki's makeup artist did a very good job, or Kiki had some type of work done, because she looks different to me.
So it's interesting because even when she was like, when they showed her like, which like in,
The
yeah,
flashbacks or whatever.
she has been looking different kind of also. I don't know. So I don't know if she did get any work done or whatever. But yeah,
She
but
looked good,
she
but
looked really nice.
yeah, she did. She looked really nice. But
Looked
I
very
just
nice.
was like, Kiki.
Yeah, she looked
But
really.
um and I mean, we don't even really have to go into this, but I guess Kiki, and it was some dispute about what Kiki actually said at the Christmas party, and Kimmi basically saying, no, you did, you were the one who initiated the conversation. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was a little bit of back and forth for that. We don't really need to go into that.
Yeah.
Because actually we're really like, this is a long video. But okay, so Destiny came out. Eventually Destiny and Stormy actually came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Stormy, they talked about their tiff, about how they had their whole thing at the Valentine's Day
Mm-hmm.
party, and what the fact that when they initially met, they just couldn't get on the same page. Apparently they have struck up some sort of friendship now, some level of friendship now, which good for them. They went into Stormy. The viewers really don't like Stormy. I didn't know this.
So Yeah,
They just think
well,
Stormy is
I
just
mean,
like the ghettoest thing that ever walked.
right.
Like,
I mean, I saw things online that was definitely like anti-Stormy. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, what is this? She's ghetto." Yes, I saw the things that she was talking about. Um, but this is what I will say. The only thing that, the only thing I will say is that I did find it interesting, and this kind of goes back to what I think I said last week when we was with them. Stormy said, "I really like Destiny. We cool, we whatever." And then Destiny went, "Mhm." And I was like, and he was like, "Well, how did you guys get past that?" And she was like, "Cause we some real G's, we some MFers or whatever she said."
we some real, yeah, she did. We some
And
real
I was
enough.
like, "But wait, sis, that energy was real different." Stormy was like, "I really like her. Like I would," and you was just giving, mm-hmm, yeah. I Again, they could have edited, but y'all can let me know in the comments. But it definitely wasn't given the same. It wasn't given the same energy to me. Like I was just kind of like, if I come to this point where I'm like, yo, like I really like Destiny or whatever, I'm expecting, and especially if it seems like we are, I guess, working or we're in a
Yeah,
friendship
I
or
was gonna
what.
say, yeah, I think. Well,
That was off to me.
I'll just play devil's advocate a little bit because I think that might be my role in this. But uh, I felt like Stormy's response was to say, "We're not friends, but we're building." And so I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why Destiny's response was the way it was. Because I either felt like Destiny felt the same way, like we're not friends, but we're building, or maybe even Destiny had in her mind that I thought we were friends now, but by her not saying, by not saying when he said, "How do you feel about Destiny?" She didn't say, "Oh, that's my girl," or "We're friends," or whatever. She just said, "I like her." I think it to me, I think it was either
Mm-hmm.
one or two things, that either that Destiny was taken aback and thinking, "Oh, I thought she was going to say we were friends," or that she was in agreement that they're not friends, they are building. So it's just like, because by her saying, "I just think we some real MFers," I feel like she feels like there's some connection that they have. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really take it as like, and Destiny just has I told you when she told that whole story about I don't know, was she in foster care or was she not? But then she's a daddy's girl. Like I couldn't figure that out. She has like a, and actually Mel, I feel like Mel has this too. She has a hard exterior, like a tough exterior, and it's like, what's up? What's really
Yeah.
going on? Like why you don't gotta be tough all the time? Like
Mm-hmm.
chill out.
Yeah, yes, it's a lot, but yeah, but that was just an observation. Now, y'all, like I said, y'all can let me know. You think that she was just like, I mean, we all right, or do you think that she was expecting her to be like, we're friends? Um, the other thing with Destiny, child.
Not
So
Destiny's Child.
this is another person that I definitely will say needs to get off the show again. That's why I'm not. That's why when y'all think that I'm a millimeter, or if y'all think I'm a millimeter, I said the first person that need to show is actually Mel. So if I was a millimeter, I'd be like, no, everybody needs to go, but her, she need to go. Destiny is also one that needs to go, and I also think that Stormy needs to go. And I shared this with Ronnie last week. The thing is that again, like this show was supposed to be built off of the positivity of black families, people, success of entrepreneurship, marriage, all these sorts of things, and it's obviously plummeted to something else. And the thing is that one thing that I realized, the consistency with Destiny, is that beyond just the show, what she shows on the show, and then off of the show, the behavior off the show, when she goes on lives or she has interviews, it just is not lining up. And I have to say that I agree wholeheartedly with Kimmi. And I'm glad that she said, listen, I've said this to her on camera and I've said this to her off camera. Honey, you're not giving anything. And she
Mm.
doesn't. She does not give anything. And like Kimmi said, reality TV just may not be for you. You can definitely tell that she was offended what Kimmi said, but it is what it is. Like, this is
Mhm.
the one thing that I will say. You can probably talk about Mel and be like, well, you're a hater, so I'm not going to receive that from you. But one thing that you're not going to get from Kimmi is you're not going to get a fabricated, like she's going to give you like, hey, I know you might not want to hear this, but just saying, girl, because I think that what Carlos asked was, he's like, at least you have seemed a friendship between Tisha and Kimmi, but you're not giving anything. And then my own producer said that you hard to work with. I said, oh,
Yeah, I was
child, when the
gonna
producer
say,
said,
I was gonna say they.
I said, oh, he didn't brought the producers in here. So, and then she tried to just kind of she was like, oh, well, I want my story to be told. And if my story was told, I mean, actually, I did film some. And I'm like, Destiny, again, here's another one. Marsau, you want to turn to your right to say, or to your left to say, when do you ever take accountability, Destiny? Because it's just like, and that's why I have my again the issue. This is where I might be a millimeter right here. An issue like, it's a lot of people on this show that ain't taking accountability, again, including you, for a lot of stuff that never. So I'm like, this woman can't even sit here and say, listen, I realize that, this is what I've done. I realize that I probably haven't brought the best, and I am an official cast member. I'm in the credits. I'm this, I'm that. And like, I'm not giving anything. It was hilarious when Carlos was like, you're sitting next to a pillow and not a man. I said, oh, child, not a pillow. But yes, like, go, sis. Look, focus on, get yourself a mentor, because the business, I don't know. Like, I want you to win in business, but you don't seem like you are winning in business with anything. But this is the problem: is that, can she afford to go? We were
No,
saying this at the very beginning. I
yeah, I
don't
don't
think that
think
she
she
can really
can.
afford to go. So that's the thing. If you can't milk the cow and be like, I'm gonna just stay on this show as long as I can, get my little coins up, and like, no, that's not fair. Make room for somebody else. Make room for somebody else that's willing to be out here transparent. And that's why they be throwing little Tiffany in there with Destiny, because they like Tiff. Because even when Carlos said it, he was like, she came and she said something,
Well,
and he
my
was like, you didn't give anything. You didn't even, you're like, you're not giving anything. And I'm just like,
well, my whole beef with that is that Tiffany inserts herself into a scene to tell somebody you're not being transparent, and then she's not transparent
oh
either.
well, yeah,
So it's
we know.
like, Tiffany, you're not the one to say that. So you
Well,
just
yes,
hush.
Tiffany,
But
if you take
Destiny definitely needs to go. She doesn't bring anything. And then when she started talking about LeBaric and that whole situation, I was like, well, does he have a gag order over your life? Like, I'm just not understanding why you can't, you know, talk. I mean, who's this man? Or just, I mean, again, like they said, you're on a reality show and we don't know any of your reality. Like,
nope,
so you're not bringing anything. But I think, we think you need to check the most. I'm right there, 100% sure that you need to check the most. But so if you need to check the most, you should be doing the most. You should be having
yes,
your tap shoes on ready. And that's
yep,
that's very racist. But um but what I'm saying is you should be the one, because tap, I know as much of them Harlem
you
Renaissance
mean like
videos.
shucking and jiving?
Yes, as much as them Harlem Renaissance videos we didn't watch. But yeah, she should be front and center with all her business, spreading it wide, all her business, because she needs to check the most. So
Yeah, but yeah,
you can't need to check the
so
most
I don't know.
and I'm sorry, you can't need to check the most and be the most secretive. Like, that ain't gonna work. And I'm thinking that she might be fired from what I saw earlier today.
From what, yes, my understanding is that she allegedly, that it's about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, because they have started shooting the next season. And that somebody had asked her in a live, like, hey, are you going to be back on the show? What are we going to see different? And she was like, actually, I haven't been contacted about shooting anything yet. And so everybody was like, oh yeah, she probably gone. They probably ain't told you yet, but you if they already started shooting, you probably done. Which again, yeah.
And I saw a video
Now I
earlier
will
today.
say,
I saw a video earlier today of Carla. They were saying Carlos had to fly down to Huntsville and have a meeting with the cast because somebody just wasn't given anything. So I'm thinking it was Destiny. I think she might be fired.
yeah. You know, and another person that I think needs to go to, and as much as, you know, I liked her, I do think that Stormy needs to go.
Oh yeah,
I think that
I go for her plan.
mentally, if you can't handle just that, and I get it, like it's hard to hear because you're from the South and you all those, I get it, but like if that gets you, then you should go. Just take it for what it was. Build. Ask somebody to be like, all right, how do I leverage, you know, whatever. Be like Cardi B. So if you do, this is the thing. If you do, because Cardi did 2 seasons of Love and Hip Hop. So if you do, like, just build your platform, continue to build your online platform, build business the right way. Because I've heard some things where people was like, yeah, I was supposed to be taking this class and she charged $500. And then, you know, this. So build it the right way. If you, because this is sometimes what I do. Like when entrepreneurs get to a place of success and when they're seeing those 6-7 figures, a lot of times a lot of entrepreneurs think like, I don't need continued mentorship. But the thing is like the beauty industry is very different from social media. So get yourself a social media manager, get yourself a social media lawyer, because it's out there. All these things are out there to do the right thing so that when it comes to, if you're doing master classes or mastermind classes and all that, whatever, you know, you're protecting your intellectual property, you're giving people real value, and you're not having people saying in the comment section, like, I had paid her $500 and then whatever, but she gave me my money back, so that's at least a good thing. But I instantly unfollowed her because, like, you don't want people to start saying these things and then you become this scam, and then it, you know, and not saying that you are. Again, I'm rooting for you, which is why I think you should get off the show. But even when you get off the show, you need to hire a team of people. So, and not going off of ain't nobody did enough effort for me. This success is all me. We gotta kind of, as Black people, and that's the other thing. That's probably what Destiny is doing and why it's failing, because you can be that little girl from Mississippi that ain't never had nothing, came from nothing or whatever, and you've seen the success. But again, once you become successful, and then when you put yourself out on these reality TV shows, trust and believe me, all of what people are doing is they're digging and digging and digging deep, just like they dug you and your mother's tweets up talking about Mel. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what
Allegedly,
I was
but
going
it's
to
up.
say.
It's there. So see what I'm saying? So you gotta be on your you gotta be on your toes, 10 toes down when it comes to like this stuff, because if you're not, if that stuff hurts your feelings, then all people going to do is just start pulling receipts and start doing whatever. And some of these receipts could be made up receipts, and some of this stuff can be true. And then you're trying to fight in the comments or fight online and being like, wait, what are y'all going? That's what I'm saying. Get off the show. Use it for what it is. Get yourself a whole legal team. Set yourself up right, and move forward. Because you obviously know how to do business, right? You are a successor when it comes to doing your thing. But when it comes to, okay, now I want to be a person that does teach a mastermind class, or I want to teach a master class or whatever, get all that stuff in order. Because like I said, you continue on this show, all these people going to do, they're going to pull and they're going to comment, and then people say, oh, for real? Oh, I didn't know that about her. Oh, well, I was just about to invest. Never mind. All it takes, and it becomes a ripple effect. So Just do your due diligence and do the right thing from the beginning to the end, because these streets is ruthless out here, especially these internet streets. You do not want to play. They will make your life a living hell. Period.
I I personally think that at this point it's not going to be good for her anyway because first of all, she already has the stigma behind her that they think she's ghetto. And then with the new information coming out about that her mom had tweeted some things about Mel back in the day or whatever, and then with the whole conversation that started around people thinking that Stormy might have recorded Mel, which I mean we know that that's not necessarily true, but just the brewings of what it seems like is brewing up as her and Mel not being as close as they used to be. I don't think that's going to be a good look for Stormy next season on the show because, as I said earlier, Mel has such a strong following that regardless of what happens or who's in the wrong or who's in the right, they're gonna be down for Mel, and it's gonna reflect badly on you, Stormy, and your brand. So I think she should get out now.
Yeah. Yep.
Because once they hear any inklings,
Yep.
once the millimeters hear any little inklings about you saying a little something or your mama saying a little something about Mel, they're gonna be on you, and they're gonna be right on your in your reviews saying, yeah, I bought her products and I'm bald now.
Oh, I mean, I've unfortunately I have seen people comment today, oh yeah, she only has one good product. All them other products, oh, it dried my hair out and whatever. I've seen that for months now.
Oh yeah, well.
So, and this is before the whole that's what I'm saying. I'm like, just
but that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be that times 10. So walk away, Stormy.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, last but not least, I'm gonna just say this when it comes to the whole Wanda thing, and I know that we kind of disagree with this.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this, and we're going to wrap this on up. Okay. Again, here we go with taking accountability. I just feel like Wanda was just not even telling the truth. She just was like, no, that's not what happened. She had came to me, her mother, told me she ready to pop off. I was like, that's not Miss Wanda. Now, come on now. That is not what happened. She was doing some, she on her live, some she ready to get pop. That's not what Mel said. So I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what you heard, what you thought you heard, but that's just no. And the thing is I agree with Mel when it comes to her being like, she can keep her apology because she's not sorry, because if she was sorry and she was sorry specifically about this, then she wouldn't have went on to do the XYZ. So it would have been nice for Miss Wanda to take accountability and say, you know what, no matter what I think or how me and you and my daughter and whatever, this is what I do know. I shouldn't have said what I said. I shouldn't have participated. I should have just said whatever I wanted to say about you, because I do have the problem with you. I don't know your kids. I don't have any desire to talk about your kids at all in any whatever. So I apologize to Sugar Mama for even whatever putting that out there. Boom. But and then she could have said that and be like, but I still have a problem with you. And then we could have been whatever. And I think the Mel would have respected that, being like, and she been like, that's fine with me. It is what it is. So but yeah, I just that whole thing is that I do and I agree with Carlos. The energy was definitely different when it came to, and like somebody like Martell said, I agree with Martell, this was not the first time that she said something about our children, because the first time she definitely said,
the first time was definitely something. That was the time to fight. The first time that she said what she said was the time to fight, because she actually did, no questions asked, no in context, no a product of, actually said something about the children. She specifically was talking about the kids. Now, like you did mention, we agree to disagree. I think the things that she said this season wasn't directly about the children. Like, I don't think she was talking about the children. They were Sugar Mama was a product of what she said, but I don't think it was, but definitely what she said about the comparison of the hair and all of that was definitely about the children. So that was the time. But I guess Mel was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her slide on that, and I
Yeah.
let her slide this time. But yeah, the first time was when Miss Wanda should have been slapped. And I mean, cause
Yeah, no, she should have never made. Yeah. So, but yeah. So, but again, I guess a whole cast of people that just don't want to take accountability. Can we just agree to that? Because I mean, I don't see anybody. Yeah, like we can blame one person. I think that this is why again I would like for Mel to get off the show because it just like I said, it just seems like it's just at war with her at this point.
I blame
Like
everything on
everybody
Martell.
is like, huh?
I said I blame everything on
What'd you say?
Martell.
Mm.
Everything, all of it, everything, all the drama is a product of Martell to me
Mm.
because as we've learned that apparently they had a pact before the show even started that with the things that they weren't going to discuss and I
They were
guess
going to say, mhm.
right, and I guess a part of that was like infidelity or whatever, and so I just feel like when Martell cheated and had the baby, I don't want to call him a side baby. When he had a baby by someone else outside of his marriage, it just opened up the floodgates, and everything has just been in disarray ever since then. All the friendships have fallen apart, and it's been war ever since Martell did what he did. So it's all Martell's fault. It's your fault, Martell. That the show is drama, drama, drama.
Well, we're gonna see. Well, I guess the continued drama when I guess housewives. We're gonna see what
Yes, because did you hear that
what
he moved in Sheree's house?
I have heard that he's moved into Chateau Sheree. Sheree, why, girl? Why? Don't move that man in your space. Your space is too beautiful, girl. It's sacred. Why, girl? I don't know, but
So has she met the kids? I wonder.
I don't know. They probably came in and was like, let's tear this up. We going to the movies with Auntie Sheree.
The house doesn't even look like a kid-friendly house.
No, she definitely got that home with being a empty nester.
Yeah, or
She got her
adult
gym, she got
children.
her spa, she got her salon, she got her everything, girl. She
She
ain't got to go
probably
nowhere, child. She probably was the most what you call when it came to COVID. She probably was like, and even though Georgia was never really like locked down like that, locked down like that,
Georgia
she
act
probably
like
was
COVID
like,
didn't
I ain't got to go
exist.
nowhere. Yes. She was like, I ain't got to go nowhere. I got everything I need here.
Yeah,
So, but
you're
yeah.
gonna have to take one of them
But
extra rooms,
anyway,
Sheree.
y'all,
She's gonna have to turn one of them
yeah.
extra rooms into a
Well,
playroom.
for Sugar Mama and what's Dick's what's his name? What's Arian's little son's name?
I don't know. Prince? I don't know. What is his name?
I don't know, but I know it's Martell want him to be called something else. And she's like, don't stop calling my son that. His name is. I was like, girl, all right.
Yeah,
I don't mess with her at
you know
all.
what? I need to look that up because I don't want to. The child don't have nothing to do with what Martell and Arian did. So I don't like I said, I don't want to keep calling him the side baby and all that. He's Martell's son, and I need to learn his name. I don't know what his name is. But I barely know
Yeah, I don't know.
the Eminem kids. I barely know their names. I just know they all begin with M's, and I know Sugar Mama
Well,
and
Tank
Boss
is
Baby.
Junior,
Tank. Yeah,
and
okay, I know Tank.
we got Mariah, and
What's Boss Baby name?
uh, I don't think we've. Oh gosh, I
That's
know it.
that's
Oh
okay. Call them
gosh.
Boss Baby and Sugar Mama. I don't even know their names.
Oh gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know it, but yeah. Now I don't know
Malia, is it
Sugar
Malia
Mama's
and
name.
Malaya or something like that?
Malia, yes.
Malia,
Malia,
and is the other one
Mariah,
Malaya?
Tank. I don't know. I don't
It
think I've
might be
heard of
Malaya.
Malaya, but
No, or did I make that up?
I don't know. Y'all can let us know in the comment section. We about to get out of here. It's been
Yeah,
a whole hour and some
I
change.
know.
So it's been real. Woo, yes. And part 3, child, I don't know. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, but yeah, part 3 this Saturday. So make sure you guys tune in to the on the network to see it. But I wish it was over because Chad, I don't. Anyway, so y'all let us know in the comment section your thoughts on the reunions, part 1 and part 2. What did you like the most? What would you just like? Nope, I don't agree. And even tell us, you team Ronnie, Renaissance Ronnie, you team Mo Lovely, you let us know. Like, yes, like Mo, you just was tripping. Like, girl, my husband be having booty shots all the time sent to his phone, and I'm good with it because I like it
Not
too.
what I was
I don't
saying.
know. Y'all can let us know. But until then, we are out. Peace. Oh, of course, I forgot. And especially to our new subscribers
Oh, yeah.
or our new family, I should say. Hey, I called y'all a new subscriber, but hey Cuzzo, hey, love up on that like button, hit subscribe and share, of course.
Yes, please.
And you want to say something? You said you put up
No.
2.
Oh, I was just saying peace. I was just trying to get,
Oh,
with this little fancy background, you can't see nothing.
the Ronnie Chateau over here
Chateau
with the
Monet.
baby grand in the background.
I'm over Sheree house, y'all.
All right, y'all. We're out. Okay. See y'all.
Bye.